Welcome to Board Game Empire. We're going to be showing you a brief overview and review of Wondrous Creatures. So this is not out yet. This is this a crowdfunding game?
I think so. I think it's got to hit Kickstarter.
Okay, so this. Oh yeah, it did say there was a notify me when it launches. Yeah. So I did see that. So yeah, this, I don't know when this is coming out, but this is going to be coming out on Kickstarter. So this is a midweight game. I will start out with that, but it's not hard to learn. It's just that it just has a lot going on. This is the prototype, and we did use the rules on Board Game Geek. They have the prototype rules out there, and I will say they're actually really good. They were easy to follow. The setup is really easy. It does take a little while to set it up, but it's easy to follow. They have pictures and corresponding letters that with instructions, so it was very easy to set this up. It probably took me, because it was my first time, and we did the introductory game. I probably took, 25 minutes to set this up. So basically, you're trying to get the most points to win. You're doing that by collecting resources, and those resources are represented both on your player board with you can collect fruit, coral, flowers, and mushrooms, and you just mark them here with these little pegs. You're also collecting eggs. The black side of the eggs are the hatched. They're hatched, means you've used them. The colorful side is the eggs from the different species that have not been used yet, and you can see there's piles of them here as well. And then you're also collecting creature cards with various species and habitats shown on them, which you will be using to achieve your achievements. And that's basically how you get a lot of points. And you will be collecting trophies that are all in the middle here when you do these achievements. There's single species and multiple species cards. And what that means is, for instance, this one, if you have 6 of the bird ones, the birds would have, in the top left of the card, see a bird there. If you have 6 different resources, either by cards or an unhatched egg in your resource board here, you would get 8 points, and you would just put your achievement token there and collect a trophy. And they are rewards. You have 6 achievement tokens. Each one has a different reward that you can collect when you use it. And the game is over when either someone reaches the end of the time track, which is on the... Sorry, we have to move the board. This is a big board, so we have to move it to make sure you can see everything. When someone reaches the end of the time track, or when the last trophy is collected. In a 2-player game, there's 11 trophies available. But however, our game ended when Anthony got to the end of the time track.
20 years of marriage. Still doesn't know my name.
I have too many words going on in my brain. So when Anthony got to the end of the time track, I've never called you Andy before. That ended the game, and we had to remove all the remaining trophies, and we each were able to take 1 more turn after that. And then we counted up our points. So there's 4 actions you can take. You can place a crew member. So you have 3 crew members to match your player board. They look like little seahorses. And then you have one that has, this is pretty cool, it's got a little magnet on top, and you just place your captain on it. He's got a magnet on the between his legs, and so he rides that crew member. The reason you have the captain on the crew member, he can do a little bit more than the standard crew member once you unlock his ability. And you do that by when you have 2 creature cards in your reserves. You can slide it up show the green check mark and whatever your ability is. For instance, each time a crew captain is placed, I can gain one more of an adjacent resource. So that comes in handy. And then as soon as you gain an achievement, you can move the second one up. Everyone's is the same as far as what it takes to unlock these, but all the abilities are different.
Yeah, like my ability was very handy. It actually helped me win the game because I beat her by 4, which if you looked at my ability, it says each time your crew captain is placed, activate 1 recharge card in your reserves, which helped in many ways because my 1 recharge card that I kept using is when recharging, gain 1 point per end-game card in your reserve. So I was able to constantly collect 4. And then my second one is your crew can be placed on the mountains. So I was able to obtain more of the eggs.
Right. Normally you can only place your crew member on the plains, these brown paths, unless you have a special ability. My special ability was your crew can be placed on an island, mountain, or lake, but it had to have an egg on it. So it was a little limiting. So if it had an egg, I could have placed it here. And you always cover 2 hexes with your crew member. And then what you're doing is whatever you're adjacent to is what you collect. So in this instance, you would collect a fruit resource, another fruit resource, and a mushroom resource. However, if you have any of the butterfly nets, you could use that to collect the little bonus resources that are shown on these habitats. And I'll get that closer so you can see it, the little white circle.
Or eggs beside. Now, if you do have 2 of these, you have to pick one
card and 1 resource.
Yeah, so you would be picking from here.
You can't get 2. In other words, although you have 2 fruit resources available, you can't take 2 creature cards or mark up 2 resources on your board. You have to get 1 of each. You will be placing more eggs on the board as the game progresses. So you're going to have these little tokens on the time tracker, and when someone reaches it, when someone has to refresh is when you're pulling your 3 crew members back. You can't do that till you have all 3 on the map. You just turn it over.
Recharge is what they call it.
Yeah, recharge. So it has that one has a circle. So you look for the circles on the hexes. There's 3 of each shape. And if there's not already an egg there, you would just draw an egg from the bag and place it there. This one already has an egg, so you wouldn't place one there. This one also has an egg, so that one wouldn't have another egg placed there.
And then a lot of times you also have those underneath it.
Yeah, you're also going to be placing these habitat tiles on time track spaces 2 through 4. So the first player to reach that circle gets to choose whether they want to place the eggs or the habitat tile. The habitat tiles are 2-sided, and you can choose which side you want, and it has to go on another habitat that already has a bonus circle on it. And basically it's just more of an upgraded version of the previous one.
Remember, you have to use your net to pretty much attain some of those.
Yeah. So basically your 4 actions you could take is you could play 2 cards, and to play 2 cards, you have to be able to pay the resources, which are shown here on the left of the card. You can play up to 2 cards. I don't think I played 2 cards very often. I never had enough resources to play 2, rarely. And then all the while, you're collecting certain species and habitats and activating their abilities. If it's an instant ability, it would be, you collect right there. If it's has this little sand glass, that is a recharge ability. So when you recharge and pull your crew members back, that's when you use that ability. There's in-game abilities. There's also the continuous, based on if you have a certain, if you meet it at a certain time, you get to do that continuous every time you meet the qualifications of that card. There was also, is that all 4 different types? Mm-hmm. So you're just collecting these cards and trying to collect as many of the different species that you need to get your achievement token on these cards. The bottom ones here, this one
Oh, you can't see.
is when you have six of the same habitat, which is represented by the habitat in the upper right card. So the first player will get 12 points, the second player will get 6 points. The middle one here is when you have 14 different creature cards in your reserves. And remember, to put them in your reserves, you have to have been able to pay the resources to play those cards. And this one is when you have 6 unhatched eggs on your player board. So once you use these eggs to achieve an achievement, for instance, because they have species on them, say you needed 3 monkeys, which is what I did. I had a monkey and my eggs, and I had 2 monkeys on my creature cards. So I was able to collect on the 4 points, which is an in-game points, and a trophy for having 3 of the monkeys. The red seals are in-game. The brown seals are instant. So, for instance, this one was, you draw 4 cards from the creature deck, keep 1, and however many points are shown on that creature card, you get to score right away.
My favorite one is this one. And that's why I kept obtaining the end game, gain 1 point per end game card in your reserve.
Oh yeah, that one is what helped him win. And these points that you're gathering during the game are kept on this score tracker here. When you get up to 50, you would just get one of these score trackers to show you've surpassed 50 or 100. And as you go, you'll see there's little bonuses along the way, mostly butterfly nets. There is a trophy you can get at 30. And then here, when you get to this one or pass it, you get those when you pass or land on them. You can choose one of the this habitat tile to cover up one of the ones that's already on the map with the bonus already on it. You just cover that one up. And so you're just, the 4 actions you could take again is play 2 cards, place a crew member, achieve an achievement, or recharge. And you can only do one of those each time. And there's several free actions, which are use your butterfly net, activate your player ability. And there was one more free action, and I can't remember what it was. But basically, that's the game in a nutshell. I think I basically covered most of it. I didn't cover the energy cards because we never played any of the energy cards. They are these. They have this little space in the middle, and they have a little energy icon right here. When you put one of those in your reserve, you put the energy token right there. It's a one-time use, but they are opportunities to recharge those and get the energy token back from cards. And I think there was a habitat tile that allowed you right here to refresh an energy. But we never actually played any energy cards, actually.
Yeah, I was busy trying to obtain the end game ones.
I kept going for the instant ones because I was trying to get my resources and things up to get the achievements the quickest. But yeah, it was a close game. He only beat me by 4 points, so we had 2 totally different strategies going. There's several different strategies you could play in this game, which is what makes it cool because there's so many different ways you could go, so many different types of cards that you could collect and go for. So it's if you like this type of game, like a point salad, worker placement type game, this is definitely one you might want to check out. So what did you think of it?
I really like this game. I really, really like the components and illustration of this game. I like the fantasy style theme, but really cool components. And the board is double-sided, so you play 2, or the backside, I guess, is 3-4.
No, this is 2-3. The backside's 4.
So it's double-sided. But the components are really cool. Font CCC. You also have asymmetric leaders that do different things. So really cool design. As far as mechanics, I really like the mechanics. Simplistic, but a lot of strategy and a lot of different things that you could do. It is a lot of micromanaging because you are trying to, get the eggs, the resources, then the trophies, and then also your reserves, and then you have to remember, recharge the reserves, and then a lot of the how you call it, characters do different things as you do different things throughout the game. So there's a lot of micromanaging, and so you want to keep up with that because otherwise you'll lose points or you'll lose resources and stuff. So, but really cool mechanics. I think that this is their best game that flows smoothly out of all of them. And so replayability, high replayability because there's so much different strategy. Like today I kept thinking about the different strategies I could played in different ways I could pretty much advance and dominate against her. So, because I only beat her by 4 points. I want to beat her by more.
He assumes he would beat me. That's the funny thing.
we're competitive. So high replayability. It does take like 20 minutes to set up though. So, and the board is quite big. So
it's a table hog.
Yeah, and then also your tableau area is kind of big too, because you're going to be laying out your reserves, and also your eggs and everything. So, but still high replayability because of the strategy aspect of it. Overall total, I'm giving this a 9 out of 5. I really like this game. It might even go up as time continues as I come up with more strategies and dominate. So.
Whatever. He lives in his own little dream world.
I did beat you.
Barely.
Hey, we thought I actually beat you by more.
That was before I did. I dominated on the trophies and the achievements.
Yeah, I dominated on the pretty much the cards,
scoring,
and the resources. So, but really cool game, and the cards do a lot. One of my favorite cards that I actually ended up using was gain 1 point. What is it? Oh, gain 1 point for each of your remaining resources. And so I was able to utilize that several times. And so there's cards that pretty much allow you to use again. And then at the end of the game as well, you get points as well for all your resources. So it really did help in my point domination. So, so that's my thoughts.
He's a legend in his own mind. I really like this game as well. I'm impressed. This is a prototype, and the components are already really amazing. You can tell the board. The board is the biggest thing you could tell as a prototype. But as far as the components, these are nice wood. I like how they have the little crew member that is a magnet and rides the little crew member. And the cards are really nice. They already have that, what is that coating that they... Nice
finish.
Is it the linen finish?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, and it has quite a few cards already, the creature cards, and the boards are dual layered. It's just already well thought out, and the rule book is, in my opinion, it's a really good rule book. That's one of my pet peeves in games. I don't care how good of a game it is. If the rule book is confusing or vague, it just ruins the whole game experience. Because one, we're competitive, so it creates bickering because we have our own interpretation of the rules. That's why I like this. Every time I had a question, I'm not even kidding. It's like they were reading my mind. The very next paragraph would either be dark, like grayed out because it's a special note, or it would be it would always answer my question I had. So I could tell they play tested this a lot. And obviously others had those same questions. So they just added, that note in the rule book. We didn't have any questions that were not answered in the rule book. So that's a good rule book. And I wish they were all that way. And even with the setup, there was no questions. It had a picture you could follow and the letters, the diagram of what you're doing, and it was just really well thought out. And so I'm excited to see what they have on their Kickstarter, because they'll have stretch goals. And
I hope they have some type of dual layer in the main board for these. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Where you could just place some of the stuff, or even for the cards where you could just slide it without them moving.
Yeah, it's just a really fun game. We love these type of games, and it does take a while to play. It probably take an hour and a half to play, but it's you have to be invested in it, not to learn it, but to play. You're going to need time to set up, like 25 minutes, and then it didn't take that long to learn it.
No.
It probably took another 20 minutes just to read through the rule book, and we just kind of referenced the rule book as we played. But, it takes a good, this was a 2-player, it took a little over an hour, hour and a half. So a 4-player game would take longer, definitely. And you would need a lot more table space.
Yeah, so it's not simultaneously, so it's each person take a turn, so it will take longer.
Yeah, and what takes the longest, well, actually, there's a lot of strategy. So where you place your crew member, I took a little bit longer than he did on that because there's so many different things you can collect, and you had to think about your butterfly.
She always takes longer anyway.
What you can collect with that, and just look at your cards. You only have a hand of 5 creature cards. Well, you have more until you recharge, and then you have to discard down to 5. But so you're also at the same time looking at your creature cards, figuring out what resources do I need, which card do I want to build, put in my reserve next. There's a lot of strategy in this game. There's the only luck involved is the cards that come out. Like you have your wilderness. I didn't really talk about that. This is always available when you're that's what you choose from when you have a habitat on the map. But they are a lot of opportunities that cards give you to draw cards from the deck as well.
Plus, when you recharge, you pretty much remove 3 of the cards from either to the right or to the left.
And you're refreshing them.
Yeah, and so you get new cards, new set.
Yeah, so it's a great game. I would give this a 9 for sure. And we will put the link in the description so you could check this game out. It's definitely one you should check out if you like games like this.
Yeah, highly recommend it for people that like worker placement. This is probably one of the best ones we played. So, and it flows very smoothly.
Yes, and like I said, I know it's midway on complexity because of everything you're keeping up with playing it, but learning it and setting it up was not difficult. It's not difficult at all to learn this game.
Plus, it was fun looking at the cards, looking at the components, and then how everything's designed. So it's not like you're just looking at, plain black, plain white boards and everything. So you're actually pretty much, as you're setting up, looking at the stuff as well.
Yeah, so I definitely check this out. Did you have anything else you wanted to say?
No.
So hopefully this helped you to decide if this is a game you may want to back. We've always enjoyed their games.
Yeah, we've liked all their games.
So, but this is probably one of their best ones.
Oh yeah,
I think. But we've always enjoyed their games. So, check them out. Please give this video a like. Please share it with your friends so they can check out their Kickstarter and check out this cool game. We hope you're already subscribed, but if not, please subscribe to our channel. Thank you again for watching, and we look forward to seeing you next time.